This Week in Action.
Very New Year!
Could be something.
Talk to the developers.
Are you playing with my emotions?
Let's get sad and then
Too good to be true.
That's not what they did here. When's the money going?
what other horror stories can come with this?
We love Tencent.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to This Week in Action Podcast 46. My name is Aaron, owner and operator of the YouTube channel Action RPG, and with me, as always, is two of my friends, moderators, the gentlemen that truly run this channel, Daft and Guilty. Say hello, gentlemen.
How's it going for the last time this year?
Hey, yo!
And of course, we have another stellar show for you planned. We've been talking about it throughout the week. We've been prepping for it, and we want to do a little bit of a year in review. Since this is the last podcast we're going to do in the great year, in the rough year of 2022, you know, we talked about games, we talked about things that happened throughout the year, and I understand that we are going to cover less than a fraction of percent of across all gaming what has happened in 2022. So what we did is we went month by month. We talked about games that we kind of played as a community, games that we thought were good, bad, drama, and we're going to kind of take you through this journey of the year. And we sprinkled in a couple of other things. Thigh, hello, Shin. Hello, Rich.
Hey, Shin.
What's
Thigh.
up?
Rich.
So, without further ado, let's get over to our new scene so we can show you what we are looking at. All right, and when it comes to 2022, we have to start with a game that I believe me and Guilty both logged number 2 on our games played. Was it number 1 or 2 for you, Guilty?
Number one, 40% of my time this year.
40?
That's number one for me too.
40. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
it came in second for me, of course, behind last Epoch, but Lost Ark was my second most played game for the year. Guilty and Daft, it was their first. Daft, giving it to you first. Why was this your most played game for the year?
Well, to be frank, it was because we were playing as a group, and in order for it to be good, we had to play daily. So it's the game I was playing daily for several months. I think it said like 80 days, something crazy straight, something like that.
And it kept your attention for a while, right? I mean,
right? It did. It did. The grind got a little stick, and then as others started to lose, interest, and you lose your compatriots in game, and then then we started playing other things. It was a natural course of things.
Yeah, I had 174 individual sessions of that this year. And, each one of those was like a multiplayer daily thing with the group.
Right.
So
yeah, I will say Lost Ark might have been the true first game as a community, as a guild, active voice chat, face reveals, playing with others, supporting each other's, chaos dungeons, guardian raids. Oh yeah, I can help you with that. Yeah, I can run this. That we actually played as a community. Was there anything actually before Lost Ark that we sunk our teeth into?
Not to that degree.
Not to that degree.
Yeah.
Genshin.
No, Genshin was days.
It was
right.
was really early though.
That was the first one. That was the first community thing. The second one was Baldur's Gate's early access. And we just traded pictures of our characters that we made in the creator.
Okay, I give Guilty crap because I was given so much crap that it's not Baldur's Gate, it's Baldur's Gate.
I'm from the Northeast. I don't really care how they say it out west.
My first Baldur's Gate video, I said Baldur's Gate, and everyone, every comment was like, this is how you pronounce it. So anyways, that's just burned into my brain. Guilty. Why did Lost Ark fail? Why did Lost Ark?
It didn't fail.
Why did we
it's
stop?
Still a very popular game.
Why did we stop playing it?
Okay, so we're not MMO guys. really. Like, I like MMOs.
It's true.
But I'm not a competitive MMO guy, if that makes any sense. I don't think any of us are. Not Gabe, not Aaron, not myself. And you really need to be kind of a competitive MMO guy to keep up in that game. And after about, you know, half a year of it, or however long it was, of almost 500 hours, it got a bit much. I was actually the guild leader for a good portion of that.
You were voted guild leader.
I was voted guild leader. I had to step down though. I couldn't keep up. It was too much. And we handed it off to, I think it was Phelan. Phelan took over, and he was good. He was very good at it. It's a good game. It's just you have to be a competitive minded person to maintain it daily.
Yeah.
Right.
So what's cool again about our new setup is I could look up data in real time. And I pulled up the Steam charts for Lost Ark right now, and it is showing that their 24-hour peak is 280,000 players, which again, if that was truly true, it's huge. It's monstrous. But you got to remember that there was times they were reporting upwards of 70 to 80% of all players were bots.
Yeah, I haven't kept up, so I don't know.
So I'm curious if they finally got the bots under control, or if it's still, you know, the nightmare that it kind of was.
You see that dip there?
This was probably
that's them purging the bots, and then the bots going back on.
I'm guessing that is a server down.
Yeah, probably
that's server down.
I don't know, like when the bot issue was happening, it was you'd go to an island and you'd be doing like a quest, and there'd be a 20,000 freaking bots standing on top of the thing you have to click.
Right.
That's about the time when I started slowing down, and then I started other things that had to take my attention, and I had to pass it down. And at that same time, I kind of stopped playing. I didn't like the crafting system either. Like the upgrade system was just
no. Don't get me
gut
started.
Punch. Every time you hear the crack sound, it was a gut punch.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. It's like.
And the deep red.
Yeah.
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 For me, it's actually interesting. I started losing interest in Lost Ark at endgame, not during the campaign. It was funny. Like I was playing all the side quests. I was running through the campaign, and for the most part, I was keeping up with everybody. But then when I got to endgame, and it was like, okay, chaos is fun, guardian raids are fun, and then a couple weeks later, it's like, oh, and then I realized, I was like, hey, honey, I need to go run and get on my computer for a few minutes. And she's like, what are you talking about? It's like 9 o'clock at night. I was like, oh, I gotta, and then I started like, that's the worst. That is the worst type of game. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Like, who cares? You know?
Yeah, it got to be too much.
And that's when things really started, like, you know what? These style of games, the 70-day login checklist, and your daily rewards come back tomorrow. Like that is, at least for me now, probably the worst like setup style of a game. I don't like that.
I mean, if
I
did not have the responsibilities that I've had put on me and that I've taken onto myself, I would probably play those games. But I have other things I have to do. I have stuff to do for the channel. I have stuff to do for my own personal projects. I have to work. No time.
Not to sideball Lost Ark, but do you think, from a game standpoint, let's just say a competitive game, you should be rewarded for showing up? I don't know. Like, I don't know how to frame this correctly. Daft is a superior gamer. He knows the ins and outs of every crafting system. He knows every map and sea and where every Makoko is. He takes a couple of weeks off. The guy that doesn't know crap just logs in daily and clicks all the boxes, ends up being stronger. Like, is that that's totally fine because that person takes the time. Like, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, it's not I don't like those. I jump around too much in games.
Rich has a
do that ever.
Rich says Lost Ark's island system is very bad for people that don't stream 24/7. Yeah, it was a grind. That whole game is a grind.
I'm
Not
like,
the
wait,
whole game,
what
but
island?
enough of it.
What island do
The
I
whole-
have to go to get this? And then I'm searching
Sure.
all these websites. Then it's like, oh, at this time you have to be in this ocean, and then this thing's gonna pop up. It's the secret island, but that only pops up at this hour. And like, God, this game,
Well, like, no, and then when you're done that with one character, you have to do it with the other 5 characters or 6 or 7 or whatever.
I only ever made one.
It's
But that's
totally
when I
a grind.
realized,
You have to make multiple to be competitive.
and that's what scares me about D4, because it's gonna have all of that, not the boats part, but it's gonna have all that other login crap. Aggro. Hello?
Isaac at 10 p.m. must go to this island. Got sidetracked. Crap. I gotta wait for 11 p.m. because I missed the island.
That's exactly how it is.
Yes.
He's not wrong.
No. For some people, it's a great game. I played a lot of MMOs when I was in my early 20s. So I would get off work. Either I'd work the morning shift or the night shift. So if I got off the late shift, I'd start playing at midnight and play for a few hours if it was the morning shift. It fit into certain things, so I was able to kind of fit in that artificial life on top of it because it fit. But now I can't do that day to day in any way, shape, or form. A couple days here and there, but after that, it's like what you were saying, Aaron. It's like it becomes too routine, too job-like.
I remember we're in voice chat and nobody's moving or doing anything. I'm like, what the hell are all you guys doing? I'm like, oh, we're fishing. Like,
We're
what?
fishing.
You're fishing?
For 20 minutes. We have to fish.
It's like, how long have you been fishing for? Well, this is the best way to get experience and loot. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? They're like, yeah, we have to level up fishing so we get the bigger fishing pole, which then you get the net. And then if you get the net, you catch more fish. Then you could sell the fish for the currency. I'm just like, oh.
And that's what we did. We
So
did
then
that as a
I
group.
started
We were like,
fishing. I was like, all right, I'll fish too. Like, well, that's fine. Yes.
I don't mind the fishing mechanics. I can work those into games. I played that in, I think, almost every MMO that had it, or ARPG like Torchlight that had fishing. I would do the fishing thing to get the crafting stuff or the pets in that case.
did you guys have a fishing buddy?
Depends.
Because Waffles was my fishing buddy. We would go
Yeah.
and fish together.
I did on some of them where we'd always be either in a guild together or at the same place relatively at the same time. So you start chit chatting.
Dude, I'd walk up to the fishing dock because there's like only one that has the rare fish in it, and I would just want to like click, is there a button to go hostile so I could just kick all these people in the water? Like, that's all I wanted to do the whole time.
Oh. I was always
we
the
had
one
to-
looking for the hidden spot so they wouldn't see me.
We had to do what we had to do, and fishing was the most entertaining thing because it involved hitting a button,
Yeah.
and then like hitting a button in time with the fish hitting your lure at a certain color, like white or yellow.
Right.
Yeah,
I just
there was an
wanna say
actual
I
mini
started-
game there.
I just want to say I started playing Wolcen on Christmas Eve, and I haven't stopped. I really enjoyed this
Oh.
ARPG. Thanks for the
Good for
recommend.
you.
Good.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
You
It's
got it
actually
for $11.
I mean,
Yeah, that's a good
11
buy.
bucks. That's a steal for that
You know,
game.
I'm gonna say this on Wolcen, and then we're gonna move off Lost Ark. We've said what needs to be said. We have a long
had fun with it
year
and-
of review. Wolcen in its current state on sale is totally fine. It's got an enjoyable campaign. It's got some end game for you to do. All the criticism and all the memeing and all the this game sucks is because of almost 2 years now of a failed studio delivering on their promises and a terrible launch. So if you're
more on
jumping in
Wilson
now,
in October.
like Wolcen in its current state, if that's what it would have done at its launch state, it would have been, I don't know, maybe up there with PoE.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it just,
We'll hit more on Wilson when we talk about
Right.
another game that came out in October.
Wolcen haters. What's up, poser? Moving over to our second game
Brent?
in 2022 year of review. Oh, everyone's favorite, Diablo Immortal. What?
Diblo.
I'm gonna let Guilty read the headline. Go ahead.
Why Diablo Immortal does and doesn't deserve all the hate.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
there is a game behind all that crap. I'll agree.
This is, and it's not like I'm following the bandwagon. It's not like, oh, red shirt guy, is this a bad April Fool? Is this an out of season April Fool's joke? I played it.
Yes,
Gave it a
Diablo
shot.
Immoral.
I played it more than guilty. I played it more than daft.
Yes, you did.
Because you're a sadist.
I'm hit max level.
Or masochist.
I played endgame. This is my most hated game of the year. It was that bad in my opinion. And I don't know, maybe it's great now. I don't know if they've changed anything. I have no idea. I have not been following it.
So
I really disliked it.
Go back to the podcast we did about Diablo Immortal. Like, we literally broke down the psychology of what's behind it. We read it out, gave you links. It's bad.
Yeah, it was pretty sketch. I was pretty surprised at some of the stuff we were coming across. Just, yeah.
Not only all the pay to win stuff, but you know, it's funny. I made a video. Ooh, people really didn't like it. It was, and I understand why people didn't like it, but it was, I went from Lost Ark to Diablo Immortal, and I made a video that said, these are the same games. Probably a little bit.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember
a little bit of a clickbait thumbnail. Anyways, the point I was trying to make is that I will almost never play a game that requires a daily login. And it's like, you log in, you run these 4 things, you click these 10 buttons, you get your loot, and then you log out. You have a weekly X that you can do, and you have to log in weekly to do that X, and you're trying to time special events. The actual kind of meat and potatoes of what you are doing on a daily basis in endgame is the same. That was my point. Obviously, the visuals are different, the campaign's different, the skill system's different, the crafting's different. I was just making the point that this style of game, free to play, daily clicking crap, is what I dislike. And video didn't. I don't even want to pull it up on here. Right. I don't want to pull it up on here. But anyways, I really didn't like it. Daft, I don't think you played it very much.
I played it for the weekend. I think we started on Thursday. We got access to it.
Yeah.
I think I played till Sunday, and then I was done. We got 4 days.
I played long enough to recognize things, and then I did a deep dive on school, and we did the podcast shortly after that, and it was like verbatim, like, this is here. We hit on what they did in Candy Crush and what can be found from Candy Crush in this game. It was made to be addicting. So
they could have benefited a lot by having a better PC port as well, because it was
it sucked on launching. I don't know what it's like now. It could be great now.
I'm sure it's better now. What's up, Flenser?
Yeah.
Flens.
Hey, Flenser.
My whole thing back then was I thought that was testing ground for Diablo 4. What can we get away with? That's what I was saying back then. I was like, this is just trash. They're just throwing out ideas and see what they can do.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that said that Diablo Immortal, obviously unsubstantiated, just their opinions, was testing how much pay-to-win MTX they could get away with, and people would still buy / people would still pay.
So that was a reskin of a game that already existed.
Yeah, but that's what came out from BlizzCon, 2018? And then the reason why the game took so long to launch is because they kind of reskinned the reskin. So, but I'm sure the bones were...
They were, probably exactly the same.
But regardless if it's a reskin, regardless if it's pay to win, because some people could argue like, hey, Undecember is fun. Undecember is pretty. Undecember has a good skill system, right? Undecember is free to play. But Undecember
also has pay to win mechanics.
But it also has pay to win, right? And some people would be like, I don't care, it's a fun game. The pay to win doesn't bug me. In my opinion, Diablo Immortal is not only a terrible game and not fun, it is also pay to win. Like, obviously, if it wasn't called Diablo Immortal, if it was called Wolcen Immortal. Nobody would play it. Like, the reason why so many people played it is because it holds the Diablo name, right?
Just a thought here. The reason it feels like a generic ARPG is because it was essentially a generic ARPG they reskinned. That's pretty much what I've gathered from them saying that much. Like they were using a different game. There was some leaks that came out, said, "Hey, here's this game over here called something different." No, and then they went back and they reskinned it, but whatever.
I don't. I literally, Blizzard makes my blood boil. But at least my like strike on my YouTube channel is like, my 90-day probation is over, so I no longer have to look at this red banner on my channel. So that's good.
That's good.
Yeah, that was a D4 thing, not a Diablo Immortal thing.
Yeah, it's a Blizzard thing. Okay.
And Taft and I were like, no. We both turned into Willy Wonka and played our flute. Little orange people came.
Yep.
Said, no, stop. Don't.
I gotta know. I want it now. Okay. Moving on to our third game. This article is not from 2022. I don't even really know why it's in there. I do know why it's in there.
Yeah, we do.
But this article actually took me back a little bit. Guilty found this article today.
I did.
So moving on, we're done with Lost Ark, we're done with Diablo Immortal, and we're moving on to Last Epoch and an article from December 16th, 2019. December 16th, 2019. Action RPG. Thank you for the publicity article. Last Epoch. Full release delayed until Q4 2020.
Oh, yeah.
11th Hour Games has decided to slow down their roadmap. Take a little more time and get it right with Last Epoch now moving to full release being in Q4 2020. Originally planned to leave early access in April 2020, it's quite a big delay. Speaking about it on their forum, they said they will be using this extra time to ensure we arrive at 1.0 at the highest possible quality while having adequate time to continue acting on your feedback. Not something you can argue with. Too many games release early. Holy crap.
I have a question. Are they also working on Squadron 42 at this moment?
No.
Oh, no. Oh, wait. That was a Star Citizen thing. Ah, yeah, Star Citizen doing that. Oops, my bad. Easy to confuse.
Easy.
I can't wait for LE 2024 release. Rich, this is pretty crazy, right? Because when we were talking about this podcast and we were planning for it, I was like, well, we got to put something Last Epoch in it. We could talk about the delay of multiplayer. We could talk about the communication. You know, we could figure out something because I want Last Epoch in the podcast. And when he sent me this, I was like, ooh, that's pretty juicy right there.
It's pretty juicy. Hey, Denali, in 2027, it's going to be sick when Star Citizen LE release alongside each other, essentially. We could throw a Star Citizen LE release party.
No, it's going to come out the same time as StarCraft Ghost. That's when it's actually coming
okay,
out.
so we are joking. It will come out next year, maybe.
Anyone who pre-purchased the game to only get it at full release, either through supporter packs outside of Steam or their original Kickstarter, will be getting access in April. So that's a nice way to handle such a delay.
April.
Man.
How much have they added since it was supposed to be released?
It's literally what I was just thinking. Like, what version of the game?
That
Art,
would have been
music,
Q4.
particle effects.
So 08
changes the classes.
08.
Yeah, complete tree changes too.
084 was Q4 2021.
Yes.
Okay, so you're talking right now we're on 085F.
My werebear got buffed and debuffed in that time.
Right.
I mean,
You should go back to the buff bear.
the game on December 16th, 2019. I mean, I guess you would still recognize it. You wouldn't recognize Endgame. You wouldn't recognize the items through it. There's been skill changes.
It's a lot.
It's objectively a better game.
Yeah, all the artwork. I mean, count.
Not all, but a lot of it.
All the artwork they've added since. Not.
Oh yeah. Like but I do not like what you did to my bear.
Why such like? Okay, so they really started hitting multiplayer this year,
After that, yeah.
2022. Okay, which means like, I'm actually curious what communication came out after this, right? Because there must have been another, oh, hey, we said Q4 2020.
Ah,
We're going to give it another couple years. What's up,
I
Angwar?
guess you have to go
up, Holy Jack?
archiving to go back in time and go back to this and then go forward.
Baldur's Gate has been in early access for like 3 years. It has.
It's supposed to come out this year. So
It has a scheduled release date, Baldur's Gate.
I believe Larian Studios. I do believe Larian Studios on this.
Yeah, I think it'll actually come out.
Played a bit of.
Does anyone honestly think 1.0 will release in 2023? Like, I mean, obviously,
I do.
I am
Yeah.
biased in my thoughts.
Whether it should or should not.
It will. Now, this is why it will.
They have to.
Because the game to them is practically in its finished form. They're not going to be adding any more endgame systems for 1.0. They're not going to be adding in, I don't believe, any campaign stuff. Maybe a little bit, right?
I don't think they will.
So
I wouldn't want. Yeah.
Well, I guess I should say what's left is the 3 masteries.
Classes. Yep. Masteries.
The skills. So every mastery has the same amount of skills.
Right.
And art.
And then the art. And then
That's
probably
it.
a little bit of optimization and balance, make sure multiplayer.
No,
is
a lot
smooth.
of it, but that's actually gold phase stuff. So
Yeah. So, well, they said 12 acts. 12 acts are not coming at launch. But a little birdie mentioned maybe something campaign coming for 1.0. I think they said like true content, like new content. There will be something for 1.0, and I don't think it's going to be end game. I think they're going to add to the campaign. That's my guess. That's my guess.
I think 1.0 we're gonna see the 9 acts that we have. It's 9, right? Or 10? 9.
We're at 9 right now.
Yeah, 9. I think that's what we're gonna get at launch. I think we're gonna get at least one of the masteries that we don't have currently, and it will be finished and balanced. I don't think they're going to feel the need to release all 3, and I think we're gonna get the others for free at a later date.
No, they said they're coming unless they change it.
I know what they said. They said a lot of different stuff. I don't go off of what they say.
Yeah,
look at the article from 2020.
But
Exhibit A.
It's a different team now. They've grown a lot.
Yeah,
size-wise
they have.
Since this 2020 relevation time. So
they have to release it though.
Yeah.
So this is my honest. I have no idea. I literally found this article. Guilty found this article today.
Yes, you did.
December 16th, 2019. 11th Hour Games wasn't having conversations of competing with PoE 2 and D4. As the game grew, as they sold copies, as they got feedback, obviously scope creep came in. Obviously there was delays like anyone else, whether it's COVID or whatever it is, you know.
Yep.
And then when they decided, hey, we want to be a top 3 game, need some money, Tencent comes along, gives them a little bit of money. Then they decide they want to take out every single original asset and make it new. They want to refresh everything. They want to up the visuals. Like I mean, I don't know, guilty scope creep, maybe is what I'm just trying to say.
That would have been great if they built the game first.
Every class is done. Every mastery.
Yeah, like I know the argument that Steve made is like there's other people, those people don't work on coding and da 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 da, but they get paid. and the pay could have gone to people to program or design instead of the people to make pretty pictures. You do that last.
Okay, guilty. Denali asks, so how does something take 3 years longer than expected, right? Because
that's
just not understanding the scope.
So it's not a professional studio, and they probably came together and spitballed the GDD. You can see kind of part of what they do on that whiteboard covered by a poster because there's a flowchart behind it.
Yeah.
So they whiteboard this stuff out, and it seems like a good idea when you're just talking about it around a table or over Skype or whatever, and you put it into GDD and you try to adhere to it, and then in practice it might not work, but you just do it anyway because some act of magic, the blackest magic, you know it's a bad idea and you still do it.
Right.
Like, for instance, the Bazaar was super over scope, and they kept it on their plates until last year. Right. The Bazaar was a game unto itself.
Yeah, I'd just say novice. They're just a group of people that don't know how to always make the right decision and what to say publicly and time it.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I mean that could be it. But
so
like,
December 2020.
Yeah.
Sarno was my boy.
Yeah,
he was the community manager. I had a good relationship with Sarno. Missed that guy. 808 dropped.
Man.
0. Hold on a second. Yeah,
that's a minute ago.
Hey there, travelers. This is Judd Kopler, game director of Last Epoch, and today we are releasing patch 0.8.
Rogue.
Patch 0.8 introduces a completely new class to
that's
Last
when the Rogue
Epoch,
came in, and
the
it
Rogue.
was like
the Rogue is
killing all the other classes.
And can dispatch
it's a cool class. I like it.
Away.
Yeah, it's super fun. One of my favorite classes. That and the Acolyte are my two.
Using
like,
evasive tactics while dual-wielding weapons.
The first Rogue I've taken seriously in the game I started a few days ago. I'm up in the 40s now. I'm loving it. It's a good class.
Like shurikens, flasks filled with deadly poisons, constructed ballistae.
It has all the newer mechanics for Last Epoch character
Whichever
creation.
way you choose to play, we are confident that
I
you
think
will
it
enjoy this
became
new
the
class that comes with
the bar that
17
they
brand
tried
new
to
skills to
pull
specialize
all
in.
the older
New
characters
item
up
types,
to,
including bows,
to be as in
quivers,
sync.
and
Because I think
daggers
at
that
this
can
point
be
they're like, we
wielded.
made all the
Dual
skills
wielding is
for the
also
Rogue at the
available
same
to select
time,
other
so there was a
classes.
lot of synergy, and that whole
patch
synergy
0.8,
thing
we're very
kind
excited
of kicked
to have
off
you
with the
explore the
Rogue.
completely
Rich, I do
recreated
use the
Temple of
decoy
Terra.
spam.
The temple that was once Goddess Terra's seat of power before it
He says it's a cop-out for bringing people up to speed. It's a horrible class for hardcore mode, which I can actually see that. And then he says, unless you use decoy.
You just don't die, Rich.
Just don't die, man.
Don't die.
Get good, kid.
Get your vitality and your hit
Says the
points.
guy with like a couple hundred hours to the guy with like 4,000 hours.
Specific affixes are now also nearly twice as common as they were previously.
Dude, this patch was huge.
It was a huge. It was like the 8.4 before.
This was.
It was kind of.
This is dual wielding. This is exalted. Or exalted dual wielding rogue class. New Temple of Terra. A lot of stuff.
You know what? He says you only dodge 70% of the one shots the game throws at you.
Yep.
I've noticed that the guys carrying the giant rocks, that's a one shot.
They changed.
I noticed
it,
that
you
today.
can sit in the middle. The guys that spin around. If you get right up
but
close
when he
to him now,
chucks the rock at you, it's a new thing. It like he chucks.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
or maybe it's not new, but
he dies before that though. Usually, he's not that. Just get in there.
No, since I went poison, he's been dying pretty quick.
Yeah. But they did change it. I noticed when I was playing the other week. That middle part, you can actually go in there as a melee character and not just get destroyed.
Yeah, because he doesn't have a trigger to cause damage to you. At that point, the only thing that does is the ring around him.
Yeah, and you just get inside of it. Yeah.
So when that went out, December 2019, they were on patch 7.3. 7.3 You can now remove individual points from a skills specialization tree. This is early.
Yeah.
Early.
Well, that's
they implemented the sixth chapter in the game.
Well, you know, that's
we do have more
game
of this
life.
for the December. We'll touch back on Last Epoch because there's more to be said.
yeah.
All right.
Oh my God.
I just want to keep talking about Last Epoch. All right.
There's more to be said about Last Epoch.
I
in
find it so
December.
hard to speak because I don't remember what is a spoiler now. Okay, last thing I'm going to say is on December 2019, literally Forge Strike, Frenzy Totem, Ring of Shields, Soul Feast, Spriggan Form, Summon Scorpion, Summon Skeleton Mage, and Tempest Strike got their skill trees.
Yes, they
Prior
did.
to this point, they didn't even have skill trees.
No, that was the era of don't take that yet.
Don't take that skill because it can't actually do anything.
You can't level it up.
Okay. We talked about Lost Ark. Talked about Diablo Immortal. Talked about some LE, and our year in review takes us to a game that took, I don't know, the world by storm. Vampire Survivors.
Oh,
By the way, I was one of the first people on YouTube to make a video on this game. Just want to put that out there. Okay, I actually should have stuck with it because there's some YouTube channels that are huge that only cover Vampire Survivors.
Yeah.
Because this game is so freaking massive.
Yeah.
Okay. And we talk
Good
about
game.
this a lot. This game created an entirely new, popular, mainstream subgenre in roguelike.
In a day.
Undeniably, like
Yeah.
like
There was tons of like games within a month or two.
people were like, go ahead.
When he was streaming, Dav, what was I doing while he was streaming it the first day?
Trying to make one.
Yeah.
I was making a
you were-
clone while he
that's
was
right.
streaming it successfully. That's how,
Because you're like, yeah, you were like, this is so cool. And you're like, it's not that hard to code. And
like, it was super easy. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I did it. I got cubes and stuff chasing each other.
You know, the
Yep.
term like auto battler has been around for a long time, but it's normally meant like something different, like auto chess, auto battle where you set your pieces and then they fight, like you strategically place them. But this is
Yeah.
like a totally different take on an auto battler, but it is very roguelike and it's very RPG where you still have to build a character and select skills and they got to synergize and you've
Right.
got to dodge and you've got to use the environment. So
for
Yeah.
me, it took me back to Asteroids.
Yeah.
I used to play that on my Atari 2600. Very similar concept, except for things you weren't magnetized towards you. They just would drift past you, but it was the same thing basically. So that was my initial. I was like, this is just like Asteroids, but modern and kind of cool. But yeah.
Vampire
I like it.
Survivors on Steam has an
I'm-
overwhelmingly positive
170,000.
98% with 172,000 reviews.
Crazy.
And I think they said like 1 in 20 people maybe give a review. It's probably less than that. So like just to
Yeah,
give you
It's
an
probably
idea,
this.
right? To give you
I
like
very rarely review.
an idea of game sales. Modem.
I mean, it's a good game. Just look, but they've added to it too.
Oh, it's changed. They've like the mechanics have changed a little bit in the latest update to the game. They've added new mechanics to it. A lot more. The characters
Right.
are more unique.
I
Then-
think there's new characters too.
Yeah, they added 4 to 6 new characters, but they're all unique. Where the other ones were unique to a degree, but they shared things across the board. Where these newer ones are, you're only going to get this if you play this class. So
Well, this game, it wasn't 99 cents. It was $3. Okay, so this game was $3. And I think that's
remember
why
that.
it was so successful. They probably, I mean, actually, they didn't know it was going to be so successful. But
Yeah.
if they knew, they probably, you know, oh, do we make it free to play and then put in a cash shop? Or do we just give it like a retail cost? Like, who cares? This is a game we've probably been working on, you know, for years. And I think they were even surprised, like what happened? Why does everybody love it so much? Even they were surprised.
It's a good idea.
it's a good.
It's a great idea.
I think it's a time related to fun thing because your games are they're timed. So You're
30
either gonna
minutes.
play that 30 minutes or you're going to die before. So the commitment is pretty guaranteed, and I think
Yeah,
that's
it's a rogue.
a big hook for people because they can fit it in anywhere.
I think that's why I like the Binding of Isaac so much.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
Well, you've got what? You've got Soulstone Survivors, right? That
Oh, there's so many of them right now. Some are good. Like the one I've been playing is called Nordic Ashes, where it's kind of taking the whole northern kind of Viking theme, really unique skill trees. All the different classes are cool. But you're seeing you're seeing a lot of variety and then copycats, right? So the variety ones are becoming more popular around it, and this is kind of like the granddaddy. And then you have others that are becoming like, well, you're the granddaddy at this version of this game, and each one's kind of taking a spot.
Well, I mean, you could take, Diablo was the first non-CRPG that you put in like action combat, right?
Right.
And then you get all these other studios that are like, oh, we can make that, right? But this was like, I mean, it was like snap of your finger. I mean, it's the same year. This came out.
Yeah.
This is saying October 20th. That's obviously not correct. This came out earlier in the year. Maybe this is.
Yeah, it was October.
No, it wasn't.
No, it had to be early. I thought it was October.
I'm pretty sure it was around Halloween.
Yeah, man.
Was it?
Yeah.
I think that's how they tried to time it a little bit. That sounds right.
No way.
But within
I'm
2
pretty
months,
sure.
tons of people were making them.
It might mean it wasn't. It came out this year. There's other types of games that are, I guess, gaining popularity that are in the rogue. Like it's a auto battler rogue, which was it's a novel idea. Soul Ash and Caves of Cud are classic rogues, and they're gaining popularity because of other rogues like this. People are like, whoa, I like rogues. They don't take 10,000 years to get anywhere. You can just start a game and play it, and then, oh, well, you can leave it if you have to.
Dude,
Right.
it is hilarious that they're like, okay, our game is so freaking popular, but we didn't charge enough money. What do we do? Okay, let's just raise the price. We're charging $3. Let's just charge it $5. No one's gonna care. No one's gonna give us like it's still so cheap. So they raised it to $5. Okay, we're not making enough money.
DLC.
What can we do to generate more revenue off this? All right, leave it $5. Let's make a DLC. Well, what do you want to do? I could just put, instead of the ground being green, make it white. And it's a snow DLC. Perfect. $5. That's what they're doing. Look, this is the DLC that just came out.
That looks awesome. Look at that. That's
this is
awesome.
December 15th DLC that just dropped.
But they added classes and stuff. That like
yeah, it's not just the ground is white. Also, those are straight up SNES like terrain.
Right.
But it's so good. And there's animated. That's an animation. Someone had to make that animation, Mr. Aaron.
Yeah, you could tell that there's more money in the production now than the first, their first release.
That other one that I liked
right
was...
Or the artwork.
Infinite Horde, was it? Spirit Hunters.
Spirit Hunters.
Yep.
I like Spirit Hunters. I thought that game was fun. But now that I look at it, I was like, oh, Vampire Survivors, this looks slow and boring.
No, the ones you're going to want to... I have the ones you want, what's it called? I'd suggest Nordic Ash is the one I'm playing. Soulstone
Ghostwire.
Soulstone Survivors is doing really well.
Yeah, everybody.
Ghostwire? Which one is the one that you shared with us?
Me?
Which one?
Yeah, Ghostwire or something like that?
Ghost Lore?
Ghost Lore, yeah.
The one that's
Soulstone Survivors has a 91.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Ooh, I like the meteor.
It's got classes and like you farm crafting items out in the open world and stuff like that you come back in and you upgrade your weapons, so you have different versions of your weapons. The way your classes synergize, the whole thing is like they're trying to get unique on how, because Vampire Survivors made it popular for when you get your weapons and then you synergize them and then you make a super weapon, right? And you get access to that. That's kind of what they did. So other teams are trying to do versions of that without copying it. Some are better than others.
Do you know what would be
a
really
lot of
fun?
copies.
Hear me for a second. This just popped in my head. Tell me if this is stupid.
What is that?
Don't say it's stupid already, Guilty. I know what you're thinking.
That's hateful.
You were
What's up,
thinking.
X?
What's up,
I
Xavius?
was.
I knew it. Have you guys ever played that Slither.io? The like, you know, you're on the phone game where you're like the worm and you eat
My
the little
son
pellets and then you get bigger and then you want to
Yeah.
eat the other worms.
Isn't that like an old game from the 80s called Snake? Or something
Yeah,
like
it's like that, almost if it's like multiplayer, right? So it's like you
Benefit.
try and circle
Yeah.
around the other ones and then they run into you and then you can eat them.
My son used to play that all the time, and you have all these different players that are different sizes.
And the more you get, the bigger you are. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
A style game like this, but these are infinite maps. So while you're running around, it's also multiplayer, where you run into other people. So you're fighting these infinite hordes, then you also are like PvP. Huh? No?
Yeah.
Stupid? I don't know.
I mean, I'm not a huge PvP person, but if you like that, that's cool. Especially if you're playing with friends. I think that would make that fun.
That would be called Fortnite. No, it
Never
wouldn't.
played it.
Fortnite doesn't have NPC enemies, and it's third person, and it's not an auto battler, and they have aimbots, and it's not as good.
It's also a shooter. It's a combat simulator with building mechanics.
And crafting, right? There's some type of
Yeah, the
crafting
building
in it.
mechanics. Yeah.
I'm watching this trailer for Soulstone Survivors, and that's all I'm thinking about. Like, what if while you were running around, there was other people that you like randomly run
Sure.
into? You know what I mean? And then you could
That could
choose.
be-
Like, you don't have to engage. You could just run the other direction, just
Right.
like in those Snake games. But if you want that booty, you go for it.
Yeah, the thing Soulstone Survivors has, it looks nice, like the graphically. So does Nordic Ashes, but Nordic Ashes looks more like, oh, what was that game called? I can't remember.
Hey, guilty.
I'll have to think about it. I'll come up.
Just
That-
quickly
go
to derail the stream, I should not have access to this screen because now I'm just searching stuff and clicking all over the place.
That's fine.
I know.
As long as it's slightly
I
relative.
just thought you should know that. Okay, year in review continues. Moving off Vampire Survivors to a next game that is required to be talked about. Which I
Wait, hold on. Before we move on,
which I didn't play.
Wolcen released a huge update alongside Vampire Survivors, and Vampire Survivors got more love than that update did.
Obviously. Moving over to Elden Ring. Elden Ring is almost impossible to explain, but so worth playing.
You can just walk around it. It's pretty good.
I never played it. Never bought it.
Like, it's gorgeous.
I
it
remember
looks
watching Boardman stream it. That was one of the most entertaining streams. If anybody doesn't know who Boardman 21 is, he's was a full-time
Ellie.
LE player and build guides, and either way, he's like, oh, you know, everyone's talking about Elden Ring. Like, this, obviously, everyone's streaming it, every article, it's breaking records in sales, it's amazing. All right, I'll give it a try. And obviously, it's not a hack and slash game, right? Like, you know.
Well, it is, but it's.
And I was watching him, he'd like run up to the
game.
boss and like hit the boss on his horse and then like run away.
That's why he failed.
And then he kept dying because I'm not saying
You
I could have
don't
done
have-
any better.
That wasn't a boss. That was a regular freaking thing he was trying to kill. It wasn't even a boss.
Shin saying that's the first game from Software. They have so many games. They're an epic.
They
kinda
started off with
started
Demon Souls, then it was Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne. I think Bloodborne 2, if it's even out yet. Yeah.
Why was it so good, Guilty? You were the only one that I didn't play it. I could openly admit.
Oh, yes, Shin. Yes. I understood. I don't know. It looks like a game that would be fun because it's an open world. And if you like epic fights or avoiding epic fights, or maybe there was a lot of not cheating of the game, but, you know, like cheesing of the game. You could, you know, win fights by cheesing it. So, I mean, I don't know.
But there's people that could speedrun this game or complete it without getting hit, right? Is that
Right. Yeah.
And that's a you're so good at this skill, you know every boss fight, that you can interpret every single move, you know? I mean,
Game by punching it, beat the game with, you know, yeah, various ways, yeah.
best game ever. You can just fall off the map over and over and beat the game. What? Is that true?
Oh, there's some here, yeah.
You can, if you're good enough at the game and dodging and all that, just run through. So I did a review for the channel on this game, and I brought over someone who is much better at the game than myself, and I sat down and played it with them. We switched off. I got to see some of the game I would not have seen it had they not shown me where things were.
Sure.
It's a massive, massive, massive game. The music is great. You really need to play it not expecting to be good at it. Just walk around. Like just the world building alone, which is actually what the only thing R.R. Martin did was build the world. He wrote what the world is, and walk around, get the lore from it. You know, just look at stuff. It's gorgeous.
Dude, do you see what it says under the title? It's wildly difficult, ridiculously complicated, and could be the best video game of the year, which is foreshadowing because it won Game of the Year.
Right.
Yeah, it was the best game. But that's the thing. Boardman was trying to kill everything he saw.
Well, he was trying to kill stuff on the horse. That's all I remember is he kept trying to kill things on the horse. They'd like rip him off and kill him or something.
Yeah. You don't do that in these games.
That's not how that game works.
He was also like,
you don't go
he was
and
also
kill everything.
He was also hammered, I think. So.
Oh, he's very. But like, unless you know what's going on, it's hard to say. You don't. If you see something big with a knife through its chest, don't go try to kill it. It's like 30 times your size.
Damn, this has 460,000 reviews.
Positive ones.
Recent reviews 93, overall reviews 91. I think there's something to be said too about a AAA game with as much hype as Elden Ring having, actually launching with like semi-functional servers and not having game-breaking bugs and being playable when they say it's going to be playable. Like there was a little bit of here and there, but for the most part, it was a very solid launch.
Yeah, it was. I played on Xbox on Series XS or whatever it's called. That's because that's how you sit in front of a TV with someone that's better at the game that plays it on Xbox.
Right.
Also paid $20 for it instead of 60. So
right now you can get it for 42, 30% off.
Yeah, I mean, I got a really good deal on it and got it on Xbox and sat down, played it, did the review. It's not one of my favorite games of all time, but it is easily one of the best games in the last 5 years. For nostalgia, I would say Demon's Souls is my favorite from software game. I like Demon's Souls the most because I played it when it was Game of the Year in 2009. So like that sticks with me, but this is clearly objectively a better game, a better experience. I
feel like this game has, correct me if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm way off, okay? I feel like this game has brought Souls-like to the mainstream.
It in a way that the Bloodborne wishes it had.
Yeah.
Right.
Had Bloodborne not been an exclusive to PlayStation, that would have been the game to do it.
Exactly. Like
it's a popular. I mean, the whole
you could,
but this
you could work backwards. You know how Elden Ring came to be and land on a certain title, right? But as far as mainstream Souls-like, Elden Ring, and now we got Lies of P. Is that out yet? That's not out yet, right? Oh, I can just stay here. 2023. It doesn't have a release date yet. I feel like this is going to be the next Souls game. Oh, have you tried Lies of P? P stands for Pinocchio, just if you're Curious.
P stands for Pinocchio. Are you sure?
Even
Well, it does
VTubers
say,
played Elden
Inspired
Ring.
by the familiar story of Pinocchio, first line in the what the devs wrote to describe the game.
I mean,
You don't know about Lies of P? Guilty?
yeah. Yes, I do know about Lives of P. It's also not out.
No,
I was saying the next big Souls-like. See right here? User-defined tags for the product, Souls-like, right next to giving me a channel shout-out.
Are we sure it's a Souls-like though?
Yes, it is.
I don't know how that'll work. Like that'll be awkward.
Why?
I don't know.
Souls like is you've got the save system or the.
I mean, I guess
difficulty
maybe
to
you're not playing
dodge,
as Pinocchio,
control.
so or are you?
You are Pinocchio, and you are searching for your creator. What the hell's his name?
So you're Pinocchio after he's become a real boy.
No. So this is it has a really interesting on the nose mechanic. In Lies of P, the more you lie, the more you turn human-like.
What?
Because humans are bad.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
He just grew a what? They need to read that story.
Maybe his nose gets bigger as well. But it's got these huge boss fights. It's got all these big dudes. And you can you have like one mechanical arm that you could switch in different weapons. You never seen this?
I've seen this. I watched you cover it, but like, it never really sparked my attention. I.e., I don't think it's going to be better than Elden Ring.
I'm not saying it's going to be bigger than Elden Ring. I'm just saying
or
from
any
Souls,
of the real Souls games.
Souls like this is what I think is going to be. Here, I'll turn on the trailer for a second.
You can lean on me if you want.
It's a gorgeous game, and it could be really good. I could be wrong. It'd be great.
Fulfill.
That statue's really on the nose, isn't it? It's almost like one of us has a similar statue as their wallpaper.
Is there a little something at the end? No. Oh yeah, there is a little something at the end. Man, I've watched all these trailers too much.
Apparently.
Guys carrying the casket.
Well, Flinzer could be right. The dodge and parry mechanics, they could be calling it Souls-like because of that.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
you need
that's
is
good.
a couple of the concepts.
Yeah, to call it. Yeah. Good point.
You got Souls like Metroidvanias that are, the
Well,
only reason really is because
That's really what Souls-like was based off of.
They could say the
Yeah.
game's hard. Souls like.
Well, they were based off of the original NES style Castlevanias and to an extent Metroid 1 and Metroid 3. The one on the NES, the one on Super NES.
Yeah.
Samus Returns was on Game Boy. I never played it.
That was long after my hiatus from consoles.
Honestly, I couldn't spend that much time on Game Boy. Yeah.
Okay. Elden Ring. Done.
Made its wedge in the year.
Oh,
Moving on.
It's going to make its wedge in time. People are
They're
gonna remember
already
that
making
game.
Elden Ring 2 guaranteed.
Yeah.
R.R. Martin wrote made the world, and they're going to use every little note scrap he has.
Yeah. Or we'll get a DL. No, they wouldn't do DLC. That wouldn't sell as good.
They did do a DLC for it.
Elden Ring?
I'm pretty sure there's a DLC for Elden Ring.
I do not think so. And I know everything.
Is the perfect place to flesh out the game. Yes, there is a DLC for Elden Ring.
They have the newest thing. I know they added a PvP kind of arena part.
Buy Elden Ring, buy the deluxe edition.
I think it's called Elden Ring Coliseum. So the answer is yes, they would.
I don't. Oh, yes, Coliseum. All right, fine. I believe Kelly and not you. All right, moving on from Elden Ring to our next game. Oh, it's a pretty kitty. Aw, Stray.
That's a good game.
Okay,
Good
I just want to
game.
put this out there. I made a video on Stray. I was talking to Daft and Guilty about Stray. I sent them the trailer for Stray. They had not even heard of it.
That's true.
No, not at the time.
That is true.
Why did this game get nominated for almost every category at the Game Awards? Daft. Why? Because people like cats? Because we're all old people with cats?
I think people like cats. People like the style of game. It's a story you're kind of going through, and it's all like emotional because you're dealing with kittens in the open world. But I didn't play it. I wasn't attracted to it. But
For those of us that have played it, that cat may have destroyed humanity.
Why?
I think it was really
I don't know why. It
well
doesn't tell you
controlled.
why.
I don't know why personally. I didn't.
I
play
wasn't
it, but
kidding. The cat might have destroyed humanity.
The
Oh, you're saying
narration
like
of
by the
game-
end of the campaign, it's...
No, like before the campaign.
Oh yeah, humanity's already destroyed, right?
Yeah.
Yes, they're all like,
Yeah.
yes, not, without spoiling anything. I'm not saying that's what the cat did. I'm just saying there's a possibility that
I know.
happens.
It's a it's a puzzle game. People like puzzle games. Those are pretty across the board. It's got jump puzzle as well, so you have skill based type thing there, and people like that.
Well, it
I don't
also is open world, correct?
Open
Where you
world,
can go
yeah.
anywhere and kind of...
If you can go anywhere, if you can go anywhere.
Hmm.
That makes sense because it is that the puzzle
Yeah.
mechanic can be
Yeah.
restricting if you can't figure it out.
But you can
If that
figure it
makes
out.
sense.
What?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying
Why do all the
did
people
figure it
have
out.
screens on their face?
Play the game?
Just tell me.
Yeah, I
Nobody
think it
cares.
has to do with the.
They're not
the
people.
world.
They're robots. Is it the Matrix?
No, it's not the Matrix. Just play the game.
If you,
But
yeah,
they're-
if you're curious, you might like
Play
Is
the
it-
game. Stream the game, sir.
Is
Stream
it because
I want to see your reaction in real time.
the robots go out and do all the stuff for the people because the people are inside playing games?
No.
It's not a person. It's not a robot taking over humanity.
This is kind of like the best way. It's like a Philip K. Dick. If Philip K. Dick was still alive, this would be in his ballpark. Like that's the type of narrative it is. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
It's open world if you can
And he
figure out
liked
how
cats.
to make it open world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to. Yeah. You have to solve the puzzles, and then you can go to different places.
And I would be able to solve them, right? Guilty? I could do it?
maybe.
Probably not.
You have some kids, right?
Yeah, I could probably do it.
Probably
Okay,
get some
moving
help.
off Stray. No one wants to talk about Stray.
Stray's a good game. I'm not going to ruin the narrative for anybody. My son got that for me for my birthday, and it's a good game.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Moving
Fair
on to a current topic. This one is for almost everybody in chat. Warhammer 40K Inquisitor Martyr Ultimate Edition review. Currently on sale for $15.99.
Does that
If-
include the new DLC?
No, it does not.
I
So
don't think I get the sisters.
you get
No.
everything, Martyr, all the soundtracks and all that dumb
Yeah.
crap, and you get Prophecy and everything
Mhm,
they've ever
mhm.
released for $16, and then it's $15 if you want Battle Sisters.
They're fun. That's what I'm playing right now.
I will say it is rare where it's like, oh, hanging out in bed on my gaming laptop. Normally I'm answering comments and just doing stuff for the channel, but lately I've been running Void Crusades on Inquisitor because I feel like this game is so fun. All right. Let's
It's
see.
got a short loop. You get a mission, and then you come back to your base, sell your gear, upgrade a little bit. I've been holding on to my points right now because I'm trying to open up the area of effect skill tree, and I have to kill I don't know, it's like 2,000 horde creatures, the groups. Once I get that, it's gonna be crazy because
If you don't know how to
16 points to
respec
put in.
passives, it's
Yeah.
super easy and cheap, so you can just spend them if you need to. Just FYI.
I don't like doing that ever. I don't do that on Last Epoch either. I will get to the point where I'll have depending on the build, when I get there, maybe 10 or 15 points that I just hold on to. So
Yeah,
I
but
don't
there's
like
no
putting them
reason
in.
to save like passive points because you could just pull them back.
I don't know.
Skill
In my
points are
brain,
different.
I know. Oh, I know, but for me, I don't like putting in something in my character and relying on it for a little bit and then taking it away, even if it wasn't something that was in my original build. I just usually hold on to it and kind of like build up this like Christmas box. All these skill points that I'm going to just use when I get to that point. So it works. fine for
Shin,
me.
I've got something for you. It not only plays well on Steam Deck. Was it Logitech has their Steam Deck offering? So if you guys follow Emil Pagliarulo, who is one of the lead designers from Bethesda, he is currently playing this game on his Logitech, quote unquote, not Steam Deck. He's tweeting about it. He loves it. That's awesome. That's actually the guy who the reason I went into design is because of him and everything he did, and seeing him play the same game we are playing, awesome.
There is a singular word that stands out to me in chat right now about this game. Underrated.
Oh yeah, big time.
Big time.
And I was just reading WinFox 470. He's like, I'm assuming he's talking about this. Had to refund it because it wasn't working. That's weird that you're having crashes. It runs pretty smooth for me.
I for sure get visual problems. Like,
I haven't.
I haven't had any. I actually upped the saturation. The game looks way better if you do that. Because
Maybe it's because he's on that filthy Intel company, and we're on that beautiful Red company.
that's a Ryzen 9 7900X in there. Very red.
I'm talking about your graphics card, sir.
My graphics card is made by Team Green, not Team
has
Blue.
NVIDIA, remember?
Whatever, the same thing.
No,
Blue, green,
they're
whatever.
not.
Yeah, I know they're not. One works better with the other.
I'm nowhere near endgame either, Rich.
Dude, it's
I'm
crazy thinking about this game
like
came out in
level
2018.
30?
2018. Only 14,000 reviews.
That's sad. It's such a good game.
Right? You look
Like,
at Vampire.
what are the negatives, though? Let's look at the negatives.
Vampire Survivors has 180,000.
Yeah,
It came out
it's a
2 months
$3
ago.
game.
Very different, though. Very different.
$3 game. Let's go down. What's
Yeah.
that? That was a negative. I want to see the first negative. It's usually some nonsense.
If you look at, I usually look at recently posted. I don't know if you can look at.
Okay, so this is always online issues. Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah, that's my beef with Diablo 4.
I've never had a login issue, so that was posted on December. I have never had a login issue with
Hey,
this game.
Yeah, but look at that. But I mean, this is what WinFox was talking about. First one, negative comments through the fire and the flames. We can't log on. In-game account creator won't work. First 2 negative comments on recently posted.
A lot of times,
Performance.
those are
Never had it.
you know,
I mean, I'm not
people
saying
are-
it's not a thing, but
too lazy to figure out, oh, I just have to do this.
Here we go.
A lot of these. I find that.
Bland, boring, slow. Feels like those RPG games released in the early 2000s. Unexplained mechanics everywhere. Text walls. Possibly the most boring tutorial I have ever played.
Some people like games that have no thinking or no depth to them, and that falls under this. They like games that just push you through it. I'm okay with walls of text. I don't know about walls of text. There's a lot of voice acting.
yeah, really
the
good
relevant-
voice acting
For the
too.
relevant story stuff, there are text things that you, when you're clicking through the little like story missions and you get those things, I read them just because it's cool lore, but it's not over. I mean, teach their own, but for me, it's not over the top. It's nice.
Shin, install Windows.
This game is not super intuitive. I will give you that. Like,
Oh no.
No, it's not. No,
Not at
God, no.
Not
No,
that I've-
further. No.
No.
not that
No,
I've
no.
gone through the tutorials and tried to learn, but while I'm streaming, I'll be like, Exathius, I actually don't know.
No, there's a
What?
bunch of crafting.
You
Anything.
gotta
Yeah.
ask this.
I don't actually know any part of it. But
Anything for me that looks unfamiliar, I just throw it in my stash and hold it until later in the game. That's it. Like all the crafting stuff and all these weird like power leveling items that double your experience. I just throw them in my stash. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Buys game, online mandatory, can't log into server, multiple people with same issue, no response from support or even a courtesy announcement from the devs. It's a shame. I really wanted to play this game.
Has anyone in our group that's currently playing it had any of those issues?
Wind Fox.
Yeah.
Just Wind Fox. And now, what was the issue that they had? All of those or one of them?
Said he couldn't get past Act 3 or something.
Well, that's not the issue they're having. They're having an issue where they can't create a character.
No, not Act 3. Third mission.
Third mission.
Which is
well,
the
good
tutorial.
game.
Yeah.
I will say I don't like when they don't have a Discord. I know that seems so stupid, but it's just such an easy place to get quick information. General chat, I can't log in. What's up with the servers? You and everyone else message this person. Go to this thing. You know, there's no Discord for Inquisitor. So I didn't like that. This is their website. So I was just curious, like, what they're... Oh, they're repping my channel.
Sometimes you'll find like
that's
fan
nice.
Discords though that are good for that substitute. So if you probably looked it up, there is probably a
join the Discord server.
Yeah.
You know what? Discord right there. Join our Discord server, Mr. Oh, no Discord server.
There's no Discord.
Grandpa over here.
Back in my day.
Oh, I just
Discord was everywhere.
I kicked Daphne off joining the Discord server. Well, it's weird because they're tripping. So normally for me, on the Steam page under visit the website, there'll be a link that goes visit the Discord.
Sure.
So that's like normally to me, that's if it's a large Steam game, like why would you not have your Discord linked to your Steam page?
Probably.
That is really stupid. So they do have a Discord. It's just not promoted where they sell the game. So
hey, look, I got a fan. Mercury's like traded me for Discord. Bad trade.
I'm just saying,
worth it.
Maybe you could write them a letter and say, "Hey, put that Discord flag in your Steam page, and then give me a means to stream officially."
I want a royalty for every person that joins the Discord that said they bought the game because of the Discord, right? Because it was my idea to put it there. Moving over to a different game, a game that I beat, a game that I streamed with Mr. Guilty. And I'm curious, you guys aren't going to know.
Technically, I beat it. I was there.
Wait, Guilty. You're frozen on my... Is Guilty moving for you guys?
No. He looks pretty... Or he's really good at...
No, he's
miming. Just...
I try and fix you. Don't worry, I try and fix you. Let's do
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Okay.
I see that he's
looking
frozen.
At myself. I'm very frozen.
Yeah, but like in a good way, you know?
Yeah, but like
it's
a good picture. It's a good shot. I like it. Someone paint that.
All right, let's oh, I got an idea.
Stop hitting buttons. That's a good idea.
Oh, you're still frozen in the other one.
Oh, why? No.
No more buttons for Aaron.
I joined the Discord and then I screwed it all up. Damn. It's okay. They can still hear you. Very guilty. We only got 8 minutes left. You're okay. Nope. Your face is so pretty. I'll make your face smaller.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Amateur hour.
Joining Discord's live.
I pinned you in Discord. You're forever immortalized.
I wonder if I could get rid of your... No, I don't want to do that. I'd rather...
Oh,
yeah, there you go. I can just get rid of you. Is that better?
Wow.
Now put me back.
Sorry. Oh, you're back. Hey, I fixed it.
Oh, imagine that.
Now I'm going to go back to the other camera. Maybe it'll...
Don't do it.
Too late. Oh, you're back. Yay.
Angwar is correct.
That's exactly what's happening. Moving over to our last game. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
Good game.
I'm a sucker for any
That's
game
fun.
that reminds me of going
Played
to
it
an
well.
arcade when I was younger. And I really liked
I mean,
this
yeah. Also, that
Kinda
was the
do.
best arcade game. Well, Mortal Kombat, Turtles,
Yeah.
those were probably the two best. And Street Fighter.
If anybody likes arcade style
Three
side
best.
scrolling, this game is awesome.
pretty fun.
It's really, really fun. And of course, it has online co-op, which makes it just that much better. I think the
Yeah, there's
problem I
things
had
you
with it
open up
was
and
there
it-
just wasn't enough to do. Like, I feel like I beat it
Yeah.
too fast. And it's got that
Well,
Mario 3 style where like you bounce around to the next mission.
Right. Yeah. But you beat it on normal, though.
That is true. I did beat it
I
on
should
normal.
say we beat it on normal. Even
I
though
think- I
The
think something,
Defender, Asteroids, Galaga. That's my speed.
I feel like there's some new DLC or something for
no, there was the Cowabunga collection came out. Unless there is a new DLC. If there is, I'll buy it. But like I bought this game and it came out on Game Pass and I was like, oh,
Okay, this is a perfect example. You guys see on screen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's
do
Revenge.
not hit that Discord join.
Look at this banner right here. Join the Discord.
Bad button, don't hit it, sir.
See that? That's why. That's what. I'm gonna. Maybe I should join. You know.
You did join, didn't you?
I think you did, at least originally when you first
At one
covered it.
point, I think we were both on
Yeah.
that at one point.
I just recently did like a Discord server purge because I've had so many. Because anytime I make a video, if that game has a Discord, I'll join it. I'm just like,
Yeah,
a
you gotta
ton.
do it once in a while.
Every once in a while. Anyways, really fun
Dig Dug
game.
was my speed. Dig Dug, good game.
And by
Dig
the
Dug
way,
2.
this game
Dig
was
Dug,
nominated at the Game Awards for something.
Best action
I
game.
think it was action. Yeah,
And I voted
And
for
I
it for
voted
best
for it.
action game.
I did too. Any of the games that I played that were on this list, because I didn't play too many that were on the these things, I voted for, unless I didn't like the game. So
It's a good game.
yeah, the other ones, roll the dice. See what
So this was what we got with Turtles in Time, with 3 more playable characters.
It for me, if I just had to pick favorites for large
Casey.
arcade console, X-Men, specifically
Oh, yep, yep,
Colossus.
Yep, yep.
Colossus, yeah, like "Roar." Ingvar
Okay.
gets that. Ingvar
That's
gets
a good game. Ingvar probably could draw it.
Yeah,
that
some
was
of
the
last-
arcade that had six people could play at the same time.
Right.
That was one of the. There's not
The
many
big ones.
six joystick games, but that was one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the
Um,
last
Ingvar, you played that X-Men. Come on.
the last games I played on console when they were actually coming out were, I think, Soul Calibur 1, Diablo 1, Metal
Was it-
Gear.
Metal
like
Gear.
that.
Wait,
Yeah.
NES Metal Gear or Hideo Kojima Metal Gear on PS1. Okay,
PS1.
yeah, good one.
Yeah. those
Although
were
the
last two.
NES Metal Gear, that's Michael Biehn on the cover. Prove me wrong. It looks just like him.
But if we're gonna just stick with arcade for a minute because of Ninja Turtles, my favorite arcade game of all time is the original Daytona driving game.
Oh
Racing
yeah.
game.
Daytona Racing. Yeah, that was a good one. It was
Where-
on N64 too.
Where like you actually had to like shift and if you wanted to be better.
Mhm.
That game was my favorite.
That was a good game.
Yeah, it was. Good
It was
fun.
I mean,
For shooter, I like Time Crisis where you had the pedal with your foot. Time
Yeah,
Crisis.
one, yeah.
yeah, that was the track shooter. That's good. I always
Altered
liked those
Beast.
Terminator games. Those are fun. Or like,
And then,
was it Time Crisis? Was that one?
Time. That's what I just said. Time Crisis.
No,
He
no,
did.
the non-rail shooters though. What was the other non-rail shooter?
So
Because there was Terminator, which was
it's
a
outclassed
non-controlled
me.
rail shooter.
I left.
Oh,
consoles
the
early.
haunted house one. The haunted house one.
They always had the Western ones where you had like shoot off screen to reload. I remember those.
Oh gosh.
It was zombies. What was the zombie one?
House of the Dead.
House of the Dead. Thank you. Yes, that's it.
Wind Fox coming in with the win.
Yeah, but you guys weren't any
That
good
was
at any
fun.
of those games. So
We were like kids.
exactly.
Well, I mean, one of us was a kid. The other two of you are old men.
I'd left them by that point. I had
he
my
was-
PC and I was playing Morrowind. I was playing
Good game, man.
good.
the early
game.
RTS games like Age of Empires and Warcraft. The RTS.
So,
yeah.
You
Look
brought
at
up
this
Morrowind.
channel.
Did you
Ooh.
guys, by any chance, watch the Lex Friedman podcast that had Todd Howard on it?
No.
Oh my God! It is it's probably a must watch for anyone that likes video games. Anyone that likes Bethesda, you get to hear him talk about like Arena and Daggerfall, and Morrowind, and the way they're going about Starfield. It turns out the way they're doing the randomized generation for planets is similar to how it's done in 2D side scroller or a top down, but they wrap it around the planet. It's a good watch. You should watch it.
That actually does sound good. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you for the Prime sub, Christina. And I got a smooch.
Yeah, Shin says it's a great. It is a great interview.
It is a great interview. Mia needs dad for a minute. Hey, no
Oh,
worries.
boy.
We're just wrapping up right now because that puts us at 90
Almost
minutes.
exactly.
Yeah.
Year in review podcast.
Oh my God, guys.
46 is in the books. I ended on our
Same
channel.
Denali.
Our goal for YouTube was 20,000 subs on the year.
Made
And
it.
right now we are sitting at 22,200. 222. Thank you. Thank you. Crazy year.
Yeah. Nuts. Going over,
Good
it was
year.
funny when we first started talking about it. I got a little nostalgic when I was talking to my wife. I was like, man, when we first started this, we were all in the last Lost Ark, and we were originally just a podcast without the Twitch part. And then what point did we do the Twitch? Was it 18?
It was somewhere in there.
Around
somewhere
that
in there.
point when we went to
We're
the
about
Twitch.
to hit a full year of
Year.
not missing one episode. Like
Yeah.
we might have missed a live stream, but we've never missed a recorded episode.
Right.
Like on 2 occasions, I think it's 2 where we couldn't do it live, but you still got a 2.5 hour
Yeah.
podcast for
Podcast.
Patreon.
Yeah.
Guilty.
But,
You're on the stream eating your chip.
Oh, that one.
The one chip challenge.
Yes.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Look at
Oh. That was good.
That happened
I'm on
this year.
fire. I'm on fire. He's saying
Join the Patreon and I'll do more dumb stuff.
you really shouldn't do
Yeah.
more dumb stuff like that.
That
All
was
right,
fun.
guys, that is going to
But-
do it.
Great
Thank you all
year,
for coming out. Such a fun year. What we're going to be doing now, as always, moving over to our bonus hour for Patreons. If you want to get into the Patreon, all the likes, shares, comments, subs, all of that is so truly important. But if you want to take it one step further and become a Patreon, it is linked in the chat. If I can.
You can do it.
Can I do it?
I think so.
My daughter is next to me, very sad.
There you go.
Guilty's
Join
got
the
it.
Patreon.
Join the Patreon. It's always a
Yes.
good time. Let's go
Join
rate
Discord,
somebody.
The
too.
Discord.
Have a great New Year's. And by the way,
Yes.
I will likely be doing a New Year's stream. I don't know if it's going to be Eve or day yet. I'll let you know when that is happening. So I hope you all have a fantastic rest of the week. I will see you on Friday for my normal stream. Guilty, you get the final word.
Good night.